All right. Hi guys, Professor Oak here. I have the wonderful Greg, who is is it a brand manager,
That's
Greg?
correct. I'm an associate brand manager for TCG on the PSA side.
Excellent. Straight from the horse's mouth, PSA. PSA card is obviously something you guys are all aware of. They are the guys. They're the ones that we want the cards to be in. They're the slabs that we want. So who other would we want to talk to than Greg? So Greg's joining us today. We're going to talk a little bit about the set registry. You guys know that I'm an avid user of there, especially with my P collection. Love tracking it, love being involved in it, kind of poking around at what other people are doing, like the crazy gem in Pokemon and TCA gaming, those kind of guys. So super interesting. Greg, thank you so much for coming. A little bit about you, if you want to kind of take over, just give us a bit of a heads up on your collecting, your history, what led you to PSA, and kind of where you're at.
Yeah, so first off, thanks. The opportunity, the honor is on our end. Super excited to be a part and get to chat. I'm always excited to talk about the registry or the brand, but behind that's Pokemon, right? And that's what I'm always ready to talk about Pokemon. Doesn't matter what time of day it is.
Awesome.
But I've been collecting since pretty young. I would say probably 4 or 5. I got gifted some Pokemon cards, mostly base set, a little bit of fossil that was passed down to me. As the story goes for everybody, all those cards I don't have anymore. So as an adult, I set out to try to get some of the pieces, from that collection that I lost. But I was a really competitive player back in the day. Pokemon wasn't so much engaged, it was more Yu-Gi-Oh! Competed in a lot of national Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments. That was kind of my niche, but Pokemon was my first collectible love. I think just at the time, the people around me weren't playing that competitively. They were playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Kind of grew into a huge fan of the MTG space. So competitively, I play a lot of MTG. And now I'm starting to get back into that competitive side of Pokemon. I'm finding it really interesting. I think it's the most fun. It's the most fun game to teach other people to play.
Yeah, I was playing on my the online PTCGO. I struggle with that one. I was playing that online the other day, and I was trying to create a deck with some of the V-Star Charizards that I got, and I just had so many cards to choose from. There's just so much out there now to go to deck with, the huge set sizes. So I think it kind of added like a level of struggle, almost like trying to pick the right ones. But on the other hand, like it was fun, having so much selection. So I get that totally. The competitiveness is trying to get the right one. It's fun.
Yeah, some of these sets, going over 300 cards. No, yeah, you have a lot. You have a lot to look at when you're trying to pick.
So many.
For collecting, I don't know. I see you're a fan of Pikachu. I know you're collecting Pikachus. I was a Charizard guy since I was very young, but purple is probably my favorite color. So Alakazam, that base Alakazam was kind of my grail, my chase card.
Yeah,
I was fortunate enough to hunt it down a few years ago.
Wow.
So that's I was super happy. That's probably my greatest collecting achievement. But to this day, like whenever a new set comes out, I don't really pick a few cards that I can't collect everything anymore. There's responsibilities you have. But the trainer gallery cards have kind of sparked my interest again in modern and really hunting just these arts. So it's for me, it's never really been about the price of the card or that that anticipation for the value.
Yeah.
But just some of these arts with blue and Flareon or Vaporeon or Jolteon like that, they resonate with me. They really take me back to when I was a child.
They're brilliant. Yeah, you can tell that it feels like, I think I mentioned it in my video the other day, but it feels like a lot of the cards now are like telling stories. There's like a story in the picture that they're creating, and I love that. That really like sticks with me, so I feel it for sure. So in terms of the set registry, what's like some of the goals of it? Like what are we trying to achieve at PSA in terms of using the registry for people?
So one thing I think to kind of keep in mind is the registry came out in 2001, so it's over 20 years old. It's almost as old as a lot of us collecting, who've been in the hobby. For me, the goal is connected. Like I want to connect people. This community, the hobby is huge. It's global. Pokemon is a global phenomenon, and I want to try to bring as many people together as I can. Kind of in the spirit of that, we're running a promotion right now. It's called a My Top 10 contest.
Yep.
And the idea behind that was, like you said, to get people to share these stories and come together, right? Stories some of these cards tell, but the stories we can tell with our own collections, right? Or the story of how we got that collection. And I just actually finished up an article. An article is going to go live next week on the PSA blog about a collector who they put up their own top 10 set together. And it really inspired me. It inspired me to reach out to some of my old friends from our competitive days and tournaments.
Oh, wow.
And just one person across the world sharing their story about cards they collect sparked conversation with myself and people I haven't seen in 5 or 6 years. So that's what I think. The registry are amazing tools for organization. You know what I mean? When you're tracking your inventory, seeing which sets you want to compete in, or maybe what sets you're working towards. Sometimes I'm sure you can tell it's hard when you have 1,000 cards sitting on the table. You're like, what's my priority here? What am I trying to complete first, right?
Yes. Yeah,
And I think that's invaluable.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen that firsthand myself, where I've been able to look at other people's sets and leave a comment, or like say, "Hey, I love this set." I think someone left a comment on mine pretty early on, and I was like, someone looked at my cards. Like, it was pretty like cool. Like, it was pretty interesting that someone would even want to look at my cards, someone that doesn't even know me. So yeah, it can definitely bring people together, and you can see who some of the real big fish are on some of the set collections. There's some real big fish in the registry. That was pretty cool, flicking through some of those. What do you think is like some important tools that it has? Because I know for me, I like to kind of track the population of some of the cards that I have, like the pricing that it's at, maybe like some of the recent sales. There's a lot there. So what would you say is like the most helpful information in that sense?
So for me, I'm a big population guy too. I can remember being like, let's say 18, 19 and just combing over the pops, every card when I finally set out to decide which card am I going to go after first, right? And that's particularly with base set, things like that. But I think that if you go on the regular public pop site, sometimes it's a little overwhelming because there's so much information, right? The scope of these card games and how many cards are in each set, it can take you for a ride.
Yeah.
But when you go on the set registry and you start putting your own cards in there, it's a little more digestible, right? When it puts out a bar graph and shows you, how the pops are spread across, sevens, 8, 9s, 10s. I think it's really, really useful for people getting into the game, the hobby, the collecting game, to understand, well, okay, this is where my card stacks up, right? There might be 4,000 eights, and then you can kind of actually see, in real time, there's quite a large population of eights, and hey, there's also 110s, you kind of get the scope a little bit, right? Sometimes when just the numbers are in front of you, it's a bit harder to interpret that data.
Yeah, I think people were, not to bring CGC into it, but I think people were desperate to see some kind of idea of numbers from CGC, just because PSA were doing that so well. It was so easy to find that data, very specific, go to the grade, even the half grade, the sales history of those grades. It was all there. And I know they're starting to build one out now, but PSA definitely, since 2001 have been leading the way. They've got it nailed down. I am intrigued though. Is there anything in the future they have planned for changing or adding, or anything different that might be coming from it that we're not aware of?
So I would say, like, we discuss, like, there's quite a large team, but I discuss daily, we discuss weekly, things we want to do. We always want to be improving, right? For myself,
Right.
even before I started working for the brand, I've always considered PSA the standard.
Yeah.
And I would like for my children, when my children come into the world and they're collecting, I would like them to consider that as well. Part of that to me is just never being satisfied, right? Like I really try in all aspects of life, but especially with the brand. I'm really passionate about this brand and collecting. Every day I'm thinking, I'm brainstorming, how can we be better? So there's a sense of, hopefully one day I'd love to meet you in person. You can see I'm a bigger guy, so my appetite food wise is never satiated. It's the same way. It's the same way for this.
Yeah.
I want as many tools provided to collectors as possible to not only make it easier to inventory or to organize your collection, but to have more fun. This is a people community, right? Sometimes people say it's a people business. For me, it's like community doesn't quite explain it as well, right? Before, people were on forums, right? People were on forums chatting about cards, and that's great. I was on forums as well, right? Pretty young, chatting, about collections. I think we have technology now, and as time goes on, it's going to get easier to make connecting with one another, like, not as much of a hassle, right? We're hopping on a Zoom right now, right?
Yeah.
10 years ago, this wouldn't have been as easy for us to chat and get together.
No.
So I'm excited for the future of the registry. And I can promise you, we are always working on ways to try to improve and develop.
That's cool. Yeah, and I mean, just innovation in general. But I guess the asymptote's a little trickier for you guys because you had so much exponential like technology. You know, the set registry back in 2001, you were already there. You've done so much with it. Now the ink's got to be a bit harder to keep going. It's got to level out slightly just because of, you know, technology limitations and stuff. But I love where it's at. I think it's great. Is there anything that you think like people should know that may not know about the registry, like the ways to maybe track data? Or I know you mentioned maybe wanting to share screen or something, you know, just kind of like what it does.
I think a misconception some people might have is that the registry is only for you know, like you said, those people with towering collections, right? You know, these multi-million or billionaires collecting these cards. That's not at all the case. You know, I myself, I'm not a multi-million or billionaire,
Same.
and I use and enjoy the registry. That's this beautiful pupper back there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's for everyone, and that's one of the things that I'm working on every day is to try to create sets and engage collectors in a way where everyone can participate. One of the things we've been rolling out lately and working pretty hard on are these typesets. I don't know if you've seen them, but we'll have like the best of electric Pokemon, fire Pokemon, etc. And they seem to be received really well. And we're amped, we're excited because it's, you know, it's a task sometimes. Like I commend, you know, the collectors who are going after that Charizard Master Set or the Pikachu Master Set, and I think they're works of art, you know, in their own right. But you know, obviously, it's not feasible for everyone. There's, you know, everyone can participate at the level they can or are comfortable participating, and that's what you know I'm trying to do right now. I really want to embrace the newer collectors too. There's a new generation of collectors coming into the game. They should know what it's like to be able to complete a set, right? Because that feeling when you complete your first set is special, right? You made a commitment, you set a goal for yourself, and when you achieve it, you're like, that's mine, right? And the, you know, the next level of that is being able to share it with people, right? Like you said, if somebody looks at my set and leaves a comment, you took time out of your day to look at the collection that's meaningful to me. That's priceless, and that to me that's what the hobby's about. And I try to carry that attitude and that effort every day into being part of the team here.
I completely agree. Yeah, I know one of I mean, first of all, you mentioned the Pikachu set. There's like 700 or 800 cards in there. I've got to try and get together. There's like so many Pikachus that Pokemon made. But yeah, that's like obviously fun, that chase. But then also, I mean, the sets are completed. I think there's like 4 cards in. Like it's not like that crazy, and they're not expensive, fancy cards. It's just it was the starter generation Pokemon. So yeah, it was fun taking a picture, putting in there the date that I bought it, what it cost, and it showed me what it's worth now, you know, the trend and where it's going and stuff. You're exactly right. You don't have to be TCA game. You don't have to be Gem Men and have amazing, huge collections. You can just track your everyday PSA cards that you're collecting for yourself, you know, and show them out there. I think
that's 100% the case.
Yeah, I think for me, it also helps me. I don't have a great memory. It kind of helps me a little bit with like my inventory, almost like knowing what kind of things I've got and like the order of them. You know, I try to group things together from PSA, like the order they are, the date range and stuff like that. It's kind of helped me a little bit organize like where I'm at without having to use Excel sheets and like pieces of paper and stuff like that, because I've got a few cards, so that's been helpful for me. Is there any like tips and tricks that you use for that kind of stuff, kind of staying organized? Or
so you can actually, when you make a submission, you're able to opt, you know, there's you've done quite, you know, I'm sure you've done some submissions and you use the registry yourself. You can totally grab your cards, you know, your cards come in, these cards are in your order, they're now, you know, you can put them into your inventory and start going from there. I think some people might be a bit scared at the scope of things, where, hey, I have 1,000 cards, I'm not part of the registry. How do I put 1,000 cards in the registry, right?
Yeah.
And you know, like I think you've shown your video, you can do it manually with a cert, but you can also scan that, you know, scan those barcodes. And I think the reward and the value of having everything there laid out for you is totally worth the investment. It might seem like a bit of a spooky task at first. It was for me, but I'm so happy I did it. Probably the before I was part of the registry, the worst thing that happened to me was I was really set on trying to grab my favorite versions of all the starters, right? you know, that were in my price range at the time. I'm a big Charizard, I'm a big Torterra guy. But you know, I work with a finite budget, right? So hey, this is how much I can spend this month on cards. The worst thing is buying a card twice that you didn't you didn't want to have the second time, right? Like, oh no, I'm a month behind because you know, my Excel sheet was messed up, my notepad was messed up, I wasn't organized, right? With the registry, it's so easy to see. This is what you have, this is your progress in the sets, and this is what you're missing. So for me, that was I'll never make that mistake again.
I'm laughing because I did that recently. I was looking at a card on eBay that I wanted to buy, and I'm like, man, I love that artwork. Like, I feel like I've loved that artwork for a while. I should just buy it. And I thought I'm gonna hold off because it was still a little bit more than I wanted to pay. And then I was going through my box I have ready to submit to PSA, and it was in there raw in a card save already. I'm like, I've already got it, just like because it wasn't graded yet. Like I have so many cards, it's hard to keep track. But with the registry, it's just there. Like I know I can just click a few buttons and I'm right there. I know exactly what it is. So yeah, in that sense, you're right. That's been really super helpful for me. Yeah.
I think you've shown as well also, like, you know, you can make those notes for yourself, right? You know, how much you pay to acquire the card. I think looking back on it too, it really it feels good to see, hey, this is where I started, right? There's a couple cards that I picked out raw and sent to get graded, and then they come back at 10 and you kind of see like, wow, like, you know, humble beginnings, right? They turn into your collection. That's been rewarding for me also. I have twins at home, twin boys.
Oh wow.
And they're great. They're huge Pokemon fans.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, one of the things that I try to, you know, teach them, we're not comparing collections to see who, you know, you're more than welcome to compete, right? Have it be competitive, see who has the best collection or see who, you know, winds up on top. But what I've found speaking to some of these huge collectors, gentleman by the name of Peter, he's Jeanette 3 on the registry, is he looks at a lot of smaller sets, and he was inspired and helped by a lot of collectors who collections, you know, in the scheme of theirs to his were much smaller.
Yeah.
And you know, people, whether you have 100 PSA 10 Charizards, right, from base set, or maybe you just picked up your first, like myself, my first Charizard that was graded, that I picked up was from Celebrations, in a 10. There's a connection there, right? You can have a conversation, you can talk, and you can both share each other's like an excitement and joy about the collection. I don't think I knew that, you know, when I was younger. When I was younger, I thought maybe, you know, the people who have better cards than me, they're not really interested in looking at my stuff or chatting.
Same.
The registry has shown me that's not true. That's absolutely not true. There are so many people out there excited to hear your story, and you can inspire them. You know, that's what I think is. I try to talk to the kids that, you know, your actions and the things you're passionate about, that they can inspire others, and that's important for me in the hobby.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you guys have so much to back that up too with the registry. There's so much data there, and the ability to upload pictures and put in, you know, information and comments and do showcases, and you can play around with that stuff too, you know, and actually like create something fun. The little flip book that you can do with it, and
Yeah.
it's awesome. Yeah, I really just I think we need more people to know about it. I really want to shine more light on it, and that's you know, another reason I wanted to get you on. And yeah, it's brilliant. Is there anything that I haven't touched on that you think people might want to know or need to know?
I think maybe because it's that my top 10 contest is relatively new, right? This is the first time we've done that,
Yep.
and the deadline's coming up next month for submissions. When we have time, whether it's now or, you know, later in the call, I would love to share my screen and just kind of show how really simple it is to start a showcase yourself.
Go for it.
And yeah, that'd be awesome. Let me see if
Yeah.
I can grab this here real quick.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Just loading back up the like our public side here.
Oh, you good?
And then we can do it together. And I know it's, you know, some people don't have a PSA account yet, but you know, for those that do, it's pretty easy to log in, and I'm more than happy. Also, I'm gonna at the end of the call, I'm gonna send you a couple links, and then, you know, make sure you have my contact information. I'm happy to provide help with whoever needs help. Whether it's registry stuff, or, you know, hey, how do I get this PSA account? I'm excited that I'm in a position now where I can talk with members. Hey, let's take care of you. Let's get this set up for you.
That's awesome.
Oh. So go ahead. I'm going to try to share my screen right now, see how it works out for you.
All right, let's see.
It says I'm disabled from sharing screen. I think that might just be like a generic setting for Zoom. I don't know if you're able to just flip that off real quick.
Good. That's a good start. Try that.
Awesome. All right, let's see
Beautiful.
how this goes.
There you go.
Are we able to see where we're at here?
It's loading up. Yep, you're up.
Beautiful. Okay, so this is the set registry dashboard. So this is actually my personal dashboard. And right on the front page here, you don't have to go anywhere else. You just need to go to the dashboard. You can start your top 10. So like, we talk about this, my top 10 contests. We're really trying to bring people together, show off what collections are, what's important to them, their top 10 cards for these categories. Prizes are going to be given out in the forms of grading credit and some goodies like that. We really want to, put our best foot forward with this. And so far, I'm really impressed, with what we've received. You can actually show you on my other end. But these are a couple that I created myself. But it's really simple from going on the dashboard. I'll just go back real quick so we can read the steps. It prompts you to start your top 10. It just takes you one click to get there. And these are called showcases. You're gonna go ahead and create a showcase.
Awesome.
And you get to name it, right? So if I want to name one, this could be Greg's second showcase. So I'm part of the brand. I'm not competing in these competitions. So I'm not gonna get any prizes here.
Just fun to do it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's make a TCG one real quick.
Cool.
So prompts to create. And most people, I would assume, if they're interested in doing this, already have some inventory in the registry. If not, it's pretty simple to get the inventory. So I think your video is great that you put out. I would love to blast it out and share it to more people myself. So I'm definitely in the works and try how to set up all these links for myself.
Awesome.
I think you did a great thing for the community. But essentially, this would be your second. Absolutely, this is a second showcase, and I'm gonna move my screen down here. Any certificate number you can add. So let's see if I can see if this generates one. So obviously, I don't have any cert numbers in front of me right now. I'm not going to add, random people's cards. Well, all my cards are already set up in here. Yeah. But it's literally 2 clicks, and then the certs you want to put in here, they're easy to throw in there. You can create that digital album, which I think is really fun. Mm-hmm. And I'll actually go ahead and I'll go into some of the showcases here, so we can get a look here at what people already have. But yeah, it's 2 clicks. It's 2 clicks from the main website. It's really not difficult. And like I said, my contact information is going to be provided. I'm happy to help out. People need help. This is pretty important to us. If people haven't seen the public site, this is kind of what you're going to get a look at. There's quite a few categories. There's well over 150,000 sets now in the registry, which is awesome. Wow. TCG's been growing, quite some. We also had this it's my top 10 showcase, right? That's what we've been talking about. We're approaching 4,000 sets, which is awesome. I can't tell you how stoked our team is about how many people are coming to get involved.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really special. People want to take the time to do this. That's what makes it for me. This is the most rewarding career I've ever had. Let's say I check this every day. As soon as a new one's posted, I'm here ready to look and engage. But yeah, as you can see, people have uploaded one as recently as the 15th. And if you scroll all the way down, so I think I was one of the first ones to pop in and give us a little test run. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm Greg from Set Registry. So if you go into my top 10, you can see what I have. And a lot of people, I'll show you one, they're actually just telling pretty awesome stories here. Just, in all terms of fairness, I'm not participating in the actual competition aspect.
Yep.
So mine's pretty brief. You know what I mean? I don't want to tell a great opera here and then to get ourselves looking a little silly. So I shared a lot of my dragon cards. I've been passionate about dragons since I was a kid. So we've got Pokemon stuff like Kingdra. Kingdra's in here. Some of the other cards I have, like that Alakazam. That's super special to me. You'll see a purple theme. I've got fusion monsters from Yu-Gi-Oh. I've got psychic Pokemon, so I do really like the purple cards.
I love it.
Like the Dragon. But so this is just this is what I put in, and a lot of other members, I'll show you one right now. They've put in some really detailed stories, which, like I said, have moved me. They've moved me to speak with people that I haven't spoken with in 5 years, and that's somebody put a set. They have no clue who I am. They've never spoken with me. and they change my day-to-day life. That's what makes me passionate about this.
Wow.
This is a really awesome set that I have an article coming out with about, and by a gentleman named Peter, and he actually made a set. You know, like we talked about, a lot of collectors, you know, they want tens and they want, you know, these higher end collections. He made a set of all of game used cards that are actually used by his son in tournaments throughout the years.
No way.
And it's just such a wild ride. And I think this is really special for people to see that you don't have to make a collection of all tens to move people and be considered,
yeah,
you know, part of the community, right? This is a set of largely PSA 1, 2, and 3s. And I've already spoken to about 10 people about it who were moved, you know, from a stranger's submission telling their story about their collection. So I really hope this is a testament to how we can come together in the community, and how, you know, PSA set registry, how we can facilitate that, you know.
Yeah, and it's like you say, it's clicks. It's all right there at your fingerprints. So easy to get to. I love that.
No, exactly. No, thanks for giving me the opportunity to share it and, you know, kind of shed a little bit of light on it. Like I said, it's really, really important to us. Any ears we can, you know, perk up to the idea of it, and, you know, hear the words of my top 10, we're stoked to do so. I'm gonna pop off my screen for you.
Awesome. So I think we covered a lot there. Went through most of the stuff that I wanted to kind of get with you, and I just got to say thank you again. I really enjoyed chatting with you. I know I want to be conscious of time. I know I've got someone that's going to be coming here soon. I'm going to be grilling some burgers tonight, so
awesome. That's
it's
great.
It's going to be fun. But I do go live tonight, so if you are bored after about 9 o'clock tonight, I'll be live with a special guest. And then I'll be moderating for PK, for Pokemon Knowledge, about 11 o'clock onwards on his channel. He's going live too. So busy evening for me. And
I'll be
busy evening. But Greg, thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we said bye?
You know, just that we're really, really trying.
Yeah.
We're trying to, you know, I came in and I said, hey, you know, what ideas do you have for the registry? And for me, you know, like I said, a lot of people don't quite know about it.
Yeah.
So we're making a push. We're trying to get the word out there and reach as many people as we can. But I want this to be a playground for everyone. You know, collectors of all backgrounds, all ages, and I want everybody to be able to be heard. So we do, you know, PSA does surveys. We do surveys for set registry members.
Oh,
we're
really?
launching those. Yeah, we do. We're launching those newsletters that I mentioned before, and I think we spoke about a little bit before the call. So, you know, if you don't, I'm going to share some links with you. So if people want to subscribe to the newsletter, it's totally free, and it's really just it's hobby news. It's TCG news. It's Pokemon news.
Brilliant.
We have access to, you know, to data that we release every month on the PSA social media channels. You know, showing the top 10 cards graded for TCG. I think people are interested in that. So we're trying to be as inclusive as possible, and I want to make all collectors feel like not only are they heard, but, you know, they have a seat at the table.
I mean, yeah, the people I have subscribed to my channel are, you guys know, like superstars. They really are, and they definitely want to soak up knowledgeable information and grow, and, you know, just get that database there in their own head of all the different things to know. So, yeah, whatever you can provide, that'd be awesome. Guys, check it out in the description. I'll throw it down there. Greg, thank you. Yeah, that was brilliant. I'm so glad we got to meet, and I'll definitely reach out to you. We'll keep in touch.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm excited to keep watching these new videos that are coming out.
Thank you. We're having fun. Take care.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.